What's poppin', gang? It's your boy Pastor JB here, and we are here once again with another episode of the ThatsThatOnThatPodcast, hashtag TTOT podcast. Use it everywhere. And then today we're going to be coming to you with little quick, mellow type rant. I'm not really in the mood to really get over energy. It is 5 in the morning, but today we're going to talk about, or should I say, today I would like to rant about how fucked up our 20s actually are. Or how fucked up the 20s, or those motherfucking 20s. Well, I'm just going to talk from 20 to 25, because I'm only about to be 25 next year. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about how fucked up our 20s are and the shit that nobody wants to tell you about. The shit that they don't really want you to learn, the shit that they don't teach you in school, nothing that anybody prepares you for. And I mean, life is life. Can't nobody really prepare you for life. And it's like, the only person that really can prepare you for life is God. And I mean, you gotta really have a personal relationship with Him, you know, in order to be really set up. And I mean, we all envision how our lives, I mean, I'm going to speak from my experience and my perspectives. Once again, as everybody knows, and it is an episode that's going to drop, and it's going to be called probably Mind of a Virgo. Just want to explore, or want y'all to explore how my mind works. But in my mind, of course, and I know it happens with everybody, especially this age and everything else like that, but I have everything planned out, or I had everything planned out. I thought I would be able to, by this age, I'll be doing this. By that age, I'll be doing that. You know, back in high school when it used to really be like, where would you be? Or what do you think you would be in 5 years? And I'm just like, rich? The fuck? And here we are 5 years after high school and a little bit of college. And I'm not rich yet. I'm not rich yet. Pre-rich, they say manifestation and power and all that other good shit, and to bring on that journey. But nobody really, and I mean, people vaguely say, you can't really, you don't know what to expect from life and this and that. But nobody really goes into detail of. Once again, how could they really go into details of real life? I'm probably just really exploring my own brain. Once again, it is early morning, late night, and here it is. And I mean, can't nobody really prepare you for your life? But I do think they could have had better conversations with me. Can't speak for anybody else. Whether I'm talking about my parents, peers, or teachers, or whomever, the authorities that were responsible for my learning process. You know what I mean? Just a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to say as everybody knows. I don't really remember going into extreme detail about my life and my upbringing. That is soon to come, depending on how my spirit feels and how I feel like I want to indulge that information for public consumption. But, I mean, I've been kind of being or should I say I had to be an adult since I was a child. And we're just going to put it that way. That's that on that, and we'll save that conversation for another day. So, I feel like, I'm not going to really say my peers, or not my peers, I keep saying that. I can say my parents or the adult figures in my life failed me. I don't really live with regret, so I don't really regret anything that happened in life. I am who I am. It made me who I am, and I wouldn't be me without him. So I'm not complaining, but I'm complaining just a slight little bit, because life over the last past year and a half, not even a year and a half, but last past 8 months, fucked me up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It hindered a lot of things at that time, which were momentarily, but I mean, everything happens for a reason, of course. So I'm not pressed about anything. I'm just, life was lifing. Life was lifing last year, let me tell you. So, I mean, I'm prepared for, or trying to prepare myself for whatever's going to happen in the future. But how can you really prepare for something that you don't really know? Yeah, we got plans. Yeah, I have plans. Yeah, I know what I want to do. And yeah, of course, with work, God, and the will to actually really want to do something, I can achieve it. But I'm learning pretty much how to live, if that makes sense. And it kind of sounds crazy because, you've been living for 23 years, but have you really been living? Like when I say I'm learning how to live, I'm learning how to just try not to be just based on just pure survival. You know what I mean? And no, my entire life has not been a struggle, and no, I'm not in the worst position, and everything could be worse. That's just how I think. Thank God everything isn't worse because, listen. But you know, I'm grateful for everything I got. So much more that I know I need to get. I've been getting to the money, everybody, man. Nah, but seriously. But back to the topic on hand. Nobody really told you about how fucked up your 20s are. When I say that, I really mean I don't know. And I can't even really say I don't know, because when I was planning on doing this or planning on recording this, I had so much in my head that was like, oh, this is fucked up, or like nobody really explains the details on how. I'm a detail-oriented person, so when I say nobody explains the details, I mean just like I need charts, T-charts, notes, outlines, just as a reference. You know what I mean? A reference to really be like, oh, okay, you know. Yeah, you can say the Bible, you know, the Bible, life, and all of that good stuff. You definitely can lean on the word, but I do feel like, as crazy as it's about to sound, but and you know how they say telltale signs or shit like that? You know how they say sometimes when stuff is passed on, think about it as like a rumor. Somebody heard something, and the more it spread, the more diluted it gets. And I'm not saying the Bible is diluted fully, but I'm saying I don't agree with every single thing that's in there. Not all things, just I don't agree with some things. And then I mean, yeah, the man translated, shall I say, the Bible, but I have my own personal relationship with God, so that's a different journey. It's a different conversation for another day too. But it's just so difficult, shall I say, being a young adult and then trying to figure out the world and trying to figure out where you're going to go, being so confused. And I don't like confusion or chaos. I'm the type of person that really just like to have peace and harmony, know what I'm doing, where I'm going, what's about to go on. But life has been telling me, and I guess that's a lesson that I'm learning, that God's like, hey, it's not all about what you want and what you think you want to get or what you think you should get. It's what you need to get. And that's what I've been learning through this last couple months. It's just like, all right, take your foot off of, or because obviously my foot's not even on the neck of life, but move, my guy, move out the way, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So I had to pretty much learn that, but it's been difficult trying to navigate this economy that our fucking parents and the people that came before us left us with. This shit is crazy. This is the worst time I feel like to really become an adult. Everything's inflated. You got so many social and political issues, and then let's talk about politics. We want to talk about politics. It's like becoming a young adult. It's like, and growing up, or at least where I'm coming from, or where I came from, you're not really worried about politics. So it's like whoever's whatever. And I feel like as an adult, you have a responsibility to really know what's going on, or what they quote unquote want us to think what's going on in your economy and where you stay and what you contribute to. Because I feel like as a tax-paying adult, I need to know where the fuck my money going to. Because if it ain't going to something that makes sense, give me my shit. Taxes be getting my check up. It be taxes be hitting my check with the 1, 2, 3 Pacquiao combination. And that's another thing, taxes. Nobody taught us how to do this shit in school. I mean, filing your taxes is really not that hard, but getting into the basics and learning of what is what, it's a 1099, a 403, or whatever, you know, a W-2, well, I don't know what W is, but you know, W-4, I-9, like, you know what I mean? All of those statements and how to file and why would you file and why are you filing. They didn't teach us that in school, and my parents didn't even care about that to teach us that. And I mean, yeah, we can't always blame our parents because you don't know what you don't know, and I mean, watching y'all listening to Jay-Z and Dr. Phil and everything else like that. You know, when you don't have the tools to fix something, you can't really fix it. I mean, you can fix it with your hands, but I mean, that's another process of, another process that you have to pretty much go through. Pretty much saying our parents, and I'm not saying all parents, but just where I came from, they didn't really have the tools because their parents didn't have the tools, and that goes into the whole systematic oppressive system and a whole nother conversation. But pretty much they didn't know, so how could they teach us? I do think as an adult they should have learned, or if you had, was cognizant enough, I feel like you should be like, oh shit, let me actually figure this out so I can pass this on. But then again, they didn't really have the knowledge either, or they didn't have the access to knowledge. And then we're just gonna call a spade a spade. Some people's parents are just fucking lazy. And that's just that on that no podcast. So after that, I really just feel like you gotta learn these things down. And I mean, it would have been easier or a smoother transition if they would have taught us what we really needed to know in school, as opposed to MX square plus BX, whatever the fuck. It's a lot of things, and I understand the basis of school was to try to get you into the system of life of, oh, you wake up at this time, you go to this place for 7-8 hours, i.e. a job, you get a little 30-minute lunch break, you might get a little 15-minute recess, blah blah, whatever, then you go home, and then they set you up for the basis of a normal quote-unquote American dream life. And that's bullshit, because if we know anything about America, we know America's on bullshit too. Anyway, back to how the fucked up our 20s are. I feel like they could have taught us financial literacy. It's a lot of things that you look at now that necessarily wasn't too available or easily accessible as far as knowledge goes. So I'm not really placing blame or faulting anybody. This is just in my imagination or in my thing right now. It's like these would be great to have, or would have been great to have had. Just things. And then you got financial literacy, you got buying homes, you got just building a business like 101, and then regular economics. I mean, at least my mom told me back when they was in school, they had home ec and shit like that. So home ec was more than cooking. It was really just like learning different things in life, how to build, how to do this, how to do that, blah blah, 1, 2. Now it's just cooking 4th grade, which is cool, but I'm like, y'all need to be teaching actual life skills. Like, what happened to that? The school system, especially public school systems, are just the curriculums trash, dated, throw them away, tomatoes, boo, we don't want it. I can really just go into a whole bunch of things, but I'm really not trying to hold y'all for too long, honestly. I just really think that I'm gonna say, I know what I would do once I start having my bio kids, as far as what I'm going to teach them, what I need to learn, what I need to heal. We want to talk about healing. That's a lot of things, because trauma and trauma responses, PTSD, all of the just hidden mental issues and everything else like that in the Black community growing up that nobody really wants to speak about. That's another problem with how fucked up our 20s are, because we're trying to deal with our brain and our mental health when we kind of foreign to us because we weren't exposed to it. And I'm speaking in general because personally, I mean, I was exposed to a lot of different people with mental health issues, and I mean, even struggling with mental health in my own household at the time. It was just, some things you don't understand because they weren't explained, but as they got explained and you got to see and experience, it's things you just know. But it's just a lot of things I feel like people didn't teach us. And once again, I can't speak for everybody, but just people that I know and myself, I think we could have been better prepared for our 20s. But I mean, just like we always do, persevere. We get everything up, we get it right. We learn. It's a lot of trial and error, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with learning by trial and error. So I actually feel like you probably learn a little bit more by trial and error, and actually, as opposed to just having a rule book. So once again, this episode is not to blame anybody or want to fight. because you guys like to tussle. But it's more so of just, I had to complain to somebody. Shit. What else y'all doing? Complain with me. Let me know in the comment section below whether you're looking on the Spotify comments, or if you're on YouTube, or if you're on Facebook, or even if you want to tweet me or DM me on Instagram, or whatever the case may be. That's ThatsThatOnThatPodcast. You'll find it everywhere. Red logo. Let's actually have a discussion, because for my young adults, my 20, I'm gonna be broad and say 20 to 30. But I can only really speak from 20 to 25 because that's where I'm at right now. I mean, I'm interested in the journey of life and what it's really going to bring. I like to find shit out. I'm trying to learn how to like spontaneity. I'm not too much of a fan of spontaneity all the way, just depending on what it is. I don't like surprises. And that's because I don't like uncertainty, and that's because I don't like not knowing what the fuck is going on, what's about to happen. And that's just a trauma response from being younger. Yes, I know 97% of my problems in real life. I be knowing them because I do a lot of self-diagnosis and a lot of self-analyzing, and I'm very overcritical of myself actually too. And I'm an overthinker. Thanks for making me Virgo. That's what happens it comes with the territory. So I know me. I know my issues. I'm working on them, but and that's another thing. I'm not gonna keep y'all too much longer. Sound like a pastor at church, right? It's another thing. So you're trying to learn yourself. Hormones are kind of dying down, but raging at the same time, because it's like you're not a teen, but you're a young adult, so you still be slinging dick. You mean? And it's just like your friends are being fucked up, or you trying to learn who is really there for you, who you can really be there for, who you can trust, who you can't trust. Like, you want to be around people, but people start to act weird, and it's like, why you being weird to me? It's just a whole lot of 20s, you know what I'm saying? And it's definitely a lot of good with a bad, because it comes with a lot of freedom. But how much freedom do you have when you have to have all of these responsibilities and then ascertain a way to actually figure out how to handle all of these things in a timely manner so they won't pile up too much, so you won't be in a rut? I'm going to stop right here. This is your boy, Pastor JB. This is another episode of the TTOT podcast. Once again, look at us, or should I say, look for us everywhere on social medias. More content coming to you guys soon. If anybody's looking to collab, let me know. If anybody even just wants to bounce off ideas, or you just want to converse, just let me know. Open book. You just got to figure out what page to read. And yeah, it's your boy Pastor JB, and I'm signing out for tonight.